Hello, my name is Trevor, and this is my review of King Richard. Even if it is conventional, it's an incredibly fun and uplifting sports film featuring a fantastic ensemble. King Richard is directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green, most known for Monsters and Men. He also did Joe Bell this year. But this is easily the largest production he has helmed, and I think he handled it very well. King Richard stars Will Smith as the titular character, the father of the Williams sisters. He's pretty good. I don't think he's as great as people have been saying, but he's good. Anjanou Ellis portrays Richard's wife and gives an incredible performance with a couple of amazing monologues. The Williams sisters themselves are played by Demi Singleton and Sanaya Sidney. The pair bring so much life to their roles and actually hold their own against Will Smith, which is very impressive for their age. There are lots of smaller roles in the movie. I think the most fun is John Bernthal as the sisters' second tennis coach. It's probably the most charismatic I've ever seen John Bernthal, and he was clearly having so much fun with the role. The plot of King Richard is as follows. Armed with a clear vision and a brazen 78-page plan, Richard Williams is determined to write his two daughters, Venus and Serena, into history. Training on tennis courts in Compton, California, Richard shapes the girls' unyielding commitment and keen intuition. Together, the Williams family defies seeming unsurmountable odds and the prevailing expectations laid before them. Even though King Richard was available on HBO Max, I opted to see it in a theater because, number one, support theaters, and two, I find that watching the film in the theater is one of the best experiences you can have as a film fan, especially with a packed crowd and a crowd-pleasing film like this. Sometimes you don't get that packed crowd. For me, unfortunately, that was Dune. It was like two other people in the crowd, which was sad. But I had an amazing crowd to see King Richard. With the theater was full, everybody was super into the movie. All the jokes landed. The tension during the tennis matches was palpable within the theater. Everything just worked. And quite honestly, I think that everyone in the theater enjoyed the movie very clearly, and I think that anyone can have fun and enjoy this film. This is going to crush over Thanksgiving with families, either seeing it in theaters or on HBO Max. That's exactly what King Richard was made to do. Be a crowd-pleasing film for anyone to enjoy. Throw in a great performance from Will Smith, and everybody's happy. However, I do think that style of filmmaking does limit the movie from achieving anything greater. I would have loved to see more layers from the film. Our main conflict and motivation for the characters was for Venus and Serena to become tennis stars. Will they do it? Yes, we know the answer is yes, because they have combined won 122 single titles and 22 double titles together. Everybody knows who the Williams sisters are. King Richard does provide a look into their training and like the start of their tennis careers that I think most are unfamiliar with. But once you get past the novelty of seeing that, there isn't much. And if something interesting was introduced, it was usually resolved within 10 to 15 minutes. And this is a 2.5 hour long film. King Richard does sacrifice some layers, but we do really get to know the Williams family, and you really get to know them both as a unit and individually. Every member of that family felt memorable, but like them as a family, those were some of the best scenes in the film. And as a sucker for sports films, I love them. This does do more than the average sports movie and tips it over the edge into what I would call a great sports film and maybe one of my favorite sports films that I have seen. I cannot wait to rewatch this. Okay, so let's talk about awards. You know, I love to talk about Oscars, so at the end of each review, I will give my thoughts on the film's awards chances. So editing. I was expecting a lot more editing from all of the tennis scenes, all the tennis matches. There was a lot. I still think this has a chance to get in, but it didn't quite meet my expectations of like, ball lands, cut, now back up to the rack, and now cut across. Like, there wasn't as much editing, but it's still a very well edited film. I think it has a shot, but it isn't quite the lock I was thinking it was going to be. Beyonce's original song, Be Alive, for the film. This was another one that like I was a little let down on as far as Oscar's chances because it's a very good song, but they play it like kind of over the credits, like it's a credit song, which is unfortunate. The Oscars typically don't go for those, and like I understand, yes, No Time to Die is like an opening credits, but it's still like during the movie. Like there was filmed stuff before that, and then the song happens, and then there's filmed stuff after. And this is just a plain end credits song. I quite honestly missed the song when I saw it in the theaters. I was like, wait, where's Be Alive? And I had to go back and find it on HBO Max, which is unfortunate. It's really weirdly mixed. There's like another song going on. It was not very well presented, which, yes, it's still, that doesn't take away from the song. It's still a very good song, but in the context of the film, it wasn't great. I think it still gets nominated, but its frontrunner status, I think, is reverted back to No Time to Die. Adapted screenplay should happen here. So this was originally an original screenplay, but it is now, they're now saying that it is based on a memoir, so that technically makes it adapted. So this is an adapted screenplay, which is a much stronger category than original, but I do still think it can get in. Supporting actor. So people have been building up Jon Bernthal. I don't quite see it happening, just like being completely honest. I don't see Jon Bernthal getting in, but we've seen like these weird, like quirky side performances happen before. I mean, we saw it happen with Little Miss Sunshine. So these types of performances have happened before. I just don't see it happening with Jon Bernthal. However, the supporting actor race is very wide open this year, so honestly, anything could happen. Supporting actress definitely should happen for Aunjanue Ellis. If you could go check out my last predictions video that I did with Thomas, like, I was predicting Aunjanue Ellis to win, and I stand by that. She has two of the best monologues of the year, and she's crying in both of them. She was great. She gives a great performance. She's going to get nominated, maybe win. Will Smith for Best Actor. So this had a lot of hype. People have been saying Will Smith is finally going to win his Oscar forever. He was snubbed for Pursuit of Happiness. This is the one. And while I think that he was good, I was a little underwhelmed. He didn't do as much as I thought that he was going to, based on the reactions we've been hearing. So that was a little underwhelming. He still definitely gets nominated. I think this leaves the door a little open, though, because you still have like Benedict Cumberbatch in Power of the Dog and Denzel Washington in Tragedy of Macbeth, which I do think they'll get nominated, but those movies are both going to be very alienating towards public audiences, so I don't think that happens. You have Peter Dinklage in Cyrano, which is a potential, but like I see him like very solidly getting nominated everywhere, but winning nowhere. So then you have to look at like some of the outsiders right now, and you have Andrew Garfield, who just Tick Tick Boom just came out, and people are loving it. Andrew Garfield, I think, could get nominated. You have Leonardo DiCaprio in Don't Look Up. If that's as good as people are saying, that could happen. And he could get nominated, even win. You have Bradley Cooper in Nightmare Alley. Like, that could happen. I mean, I don't think Adam Driver is happening anymore for House of Gucci based off of everything we've been hearing. But, like, I don't know. I think that Will Smith not being, like, phenomenal, and this is my personal opinion, but Will Smith not being phenomenal, I think opens up the race a little bit for me. Director. So, Reinaldo Marcus Green. This could happen. It's just very unlikely. Director is very locked right now. I mean, you have Campion, you have Branagh, you have Guillermo del Toro, you have Denis Villeneuve, and you have Paul Thomas Anderson. And even on the outside of that, you have Joel Cohen, you have Steven Spielberg, you have Julia Ducournau. Like, it's going to be very hard for him to break in. If King Richard somehow wins Best Picture, then I think he has to. I don't think we'll see another Green Book situation where you have the Best Picture winner not getting nominated for Director, but very unlikely at this point. But then Best Picture. It's getting in. People, this is the crowd-pleasing film of the year. They are not going to nominate the crowd-pleasing film of the year. This is going to get nominated plenty of other places. It's at least going to get 4 or 5 nominations. Best Picture is happening. This is getting nominated for Best Picture. I don't think it has a chance to win. It didn't make as strong of an impact, but this is like, I don't know if this is going to be anybody's favorite movie of the year, but it's going to be in everybody's top 10 or 15. So those have been my thoughts on King Richard. Hope you enjoyed it, as well as the awards breakdown. My final rating of the film is a 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching the review, and leave a comment down below on your thoughts about King Richard.